Hello and welcome back, you guys. You have seen the sweatiest cosmetics, you've seen the noobiest cosmetics, and now the only proper course of action is to see the most rare cosmetics. So I don't want to waste any time, let's get right into it. If you like this video, if you've liked the past videos in this series, and if you want future ones, which there's plenty we could do, feel free to subscribe. But anyway, let's get right into it, starting with number 5. Oh, and real quick, you guys, 1 second. I don't have any of these cosmetics myself to show off, so in the meantime, I'll show some clips in the background, but I'll also show some cool photos and fun facts about the cosmetics. But anyway, let's go. Okay, I'll be honest here, the number 5 spot is where I had my trickiest time. It was between the Crash Tester and the Lemon Blast. Now you see, of course, which one won. And the reason I went with this one is as follows. So there were multiple occasions in which an individual could pick from the fancy burger, the Cajun fries, and the lemon blast you see here. And as it turned out, the least popular one, or the one selected the least, as the lore would have it, is the lemon blast. So I thought that was just a cool piece of history that I couldn't exclude from this video. Truthfully, they're all really cool. My first choice, personally, would have been the Cajun fries, second, fancy burger, and third, the lemon blast, but you can't go wrong with any of them. They all look cool, and either way, most of them probably could have fit in around this spot. Okay, at number 4, we have Gordon Head Crab. Now, as I understand it, Gordon Freeman is a fictional character from the Half-Life series, which I know nothing of, and this one has a crab on its head. But this was given to individuals that pre-ordered the game on Steam. Obviously, that's a one-time instance. And what you also got to consider here is, however many people have that, how many of those people actually play the game anymore, right? Probably not too many. One notable name I do know is Octopal. I know he has this and will wear it. I've seen it very few times, but not too often, so this definitely deserves its spot at number 4. Okay, next at number 3 we have Sorcerer, better known as Pink Wizard. This was given out quite some time ago in what was called the Weekly Crown League. Fall Guys, to my knowledge, hasn't done anything like it since. But essentially, in the Weekly Crown League, it was pretty straightforward. Whichever players got the most crowns in a week would simply get this cosmetic. There was 10 people in total, and frankly, I'm not sure how many times they hosted the Weekly Crown League, but it would result in a pretty unhealthy amount of sweating, which, I mean, looking at this cosmetic, can you blame people? It's very rare. I've seen it a few times in the wild, but my goodness, it's certainly one of the most rare cosmetics in the game, and also a really cool bit of bragging rights to have earned it the way players did. Alright, at number 2 we have Pirate. A fun fact about this before we really get into it is that this is actually just called Pirate. I've seen people call it Pink Pirate, which, I mean, it's true, but in fact, of all the pirate cosmetics, which there's a few, the Ecto Pirate kind of being maybe the classically colored one, this is the one that's actually called just Pirate, which is cool. But this is no longer available either, as really, I should say, any of these are. But anyway, this was given to the, I believe, OG Discord moderators of the official Fall Guys Discord, which is just really cool. I have seen, I want to say, 3 different ones of these kind of in the wild. 2 of them were together, which is pretty cool. And the other one I remember grinding crowns against on, what was the round called? Cheese Canyon? That being also had a magic dragon, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, you slice it, super rare cosmetic, and super cool bit of bragging rights too. I mean, to say that you were an OG Discord moderator on the Fall Guys Discord, pretty cool. Now, before we get into number 1, obviously we have to go through some honorable mentions, and the first one I want to mention is the Fleet Feet. Now, I know this is just an honorable mention, which we normally kind of breeze by, but I do want to talk about this a little bit because this is an interesting one. So, the Fleet Feet, it can be said, were the last rare cosmetic to be given out. This occurred, to my memory, in March of 2023, and these were given to former members of the BOB Board of Beans when it was effectively closed. It was kind of a reward or a thank you for, those players that contributed to that. And the reason I want to mention this is because it's funny. At the time, I remember, being an active member of the Fall Guys Twitter community. It was memed into oblivion. People were thinking, so we've been on the Board of Beans, and in the past we've gotten, the Crash Tester, or we've gotten this cosmetic or the other, and we've helped you in this way, and you give us sandals. Now, my hot take is that these are freaking cool, and these are one of the coolest cosmetics in the game, but I guess it is pretty funny they gave away a pair of common rarity sandals to those people. But anyway, moving on. Next up, I just feel like it has to be mentioned. I'll mention them together. Magic Dragon and Dark Knight. They may not be the most rare per se, but obviously they're very rare. I mean, how often do you see either one of these? If I had to guess, I'd say the Magic Dragon is maybe a little more rare, just off of my own eye test and recollection. I feel like I've seen less. They're both awesome, of course. Another one is the Crash Tester. If I had to put a number 6 on this video, this would be in that spot. It's a rare cosmetic. It's been given out twice. One at the very early beta stages of the game, and then again right before the game went free to play in the summer of 2022. Okay, and lastly, one more kind of pseudo honorable mention is the Gordon Freeman cosmetic. There's only one out there which would technically make this the most rare cosmetic. It was given away to one Gary Whitta. I don't pretend to know who that is, but to me that's not really that doesn't count for this list in my opinion. If you want to count it, then great, it's number 1. But anyway, let's get into number 1. And the moment we've all been waiting for, number 1, it is the winner cosmetic. This was, and I don't know if it ever will again, but was and has been given to winners of Twitch Rivals tournaments. This is not to be confused with the Rival skin, which is given away, frankly, I'm not 100% sure if it's to participants or top ranking players. The Rival, this cosmetic could have had its own spot on this list, but I wanted to kind of bunch them together so that we could have as many as possible and kind of get into the lore for all of them. That explains that, but they're both very rare. But anyway, the winner cosmetic, not only does it look very cool, but it's given away, super exclusive, only to the winners of this tournament. And a bit of fun fact, before we wrap this up, is, and I'll put the screenshots here, there's actually been reports, at least 2 to my knowledge, of people accidentally being gifted this cosmetic, which I find pretty funny, and I mean, pretty cool for them. I wish I would be accidentally gifted something cool. But yeah, that does that. In my opinion, it's the rarest cosmetic in Fall Guys history, the Twitch Rivals winner. So yeah, obviously this list is not fact, and it's only a matter of opinion, or even better, guesstimation. So definitely share your thoughts below. I've only been playing the game for almost 2 years now. The game's been out for 4. So obviously there's a lot I don't know, maybe some that I missed. But either way, thank you for watching. I'm glad you're here today, and I will see you next time.